homes. Persons living in these areas have been forced to take up weapons in defense of their homes against criminal elements taking advantage of the lockdown to rob citizens. Hoodlums have been terrorizing residents and carting away valuables and food items. Many say the lockdown has forced people, mostly young men who make daily incomes, to resort to stealing for survival. But the police say they are now on top of the situation and residents should avoid spreading false information on the level of insecurity in the state. Well, Dennis Amakri, former Assistant Director, State Security Services and CEO, Zoomlens Security Solutions, joins me now via Skype to talk more on this. Good morning and thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast. When the lockdown was announced, did you envisage that there would be some sort of insecurity or situation that we have found arising in some communities in terms of insecurity as we speak?
Yes, right from the word go, we mentioned it. A lot of security practitioners had come up to talk about it, that there is not enough preparedness for this particular lockdown. And what we mean by preparedness is not just to post policemen to go and enforce the lockdown, but there are other fallouts of that lockdown, like thinking about the social, cultural structure of our environment, especially in Lagos, where you have people who are of daily income, and those daily income people have to eat. So when you lock them down, it becomes a problem. Now, we don't know whether, at that time, we pointed out, is it going to be total lockdown, or is it going to be a partial lockdown? And then, of course, nobody said anything. When the police people came in, they enforced a total lockdown. And that is where the problem started.
About with the situation on ground, the intention of government is to ensure that people are safe, even though they also intend that people do not die of hunger. I wonder how we can balance all of this as we speak now.
Yeah, well, you know, the Lagos state government was already doing that. That was very, very commendable. I really commend the Lagos state government. And when they started, there were even windows for when people can come out and buy food in certain markets and take home and stuff like that. Now, when you are preparing for this kind of thing, I think you have to also bring in those windows. Because how do you lock down people in their houses? Even those who have money, you know, they will spend all of it, they will transfer all of it, and then the banks are closed. So how do you get money, you know, to assuage the situation? So I think this aspect of it, the human part of it, you know, was not taken care of when we started going into total lockdown.
No, but there are provisions for persons to go to the markets around their areas and to get whatever it is they need to get. There are also banks are functioning when it comes to using the ATM machines and the likes. But then the question that has arisen with regards to it is, does the situation on ground justify people going about attacking persons who are also vulnerable in the situation?
Yes, of course. When you say there are windows for people going to the ATM, the ATMs will run out. People have to go down there, and some checks are hanging in there. You know, where they are not doing any clearing of checks right now. The banks are not. And then, of course, when you are locked down in this fashion, it goes through 3 stages. You know, number one, people will beg. They will beg their friends, so boy, try send me something and stuff like that. Then it goes into loaning. You want to loan something. And then, of course, when the loans and the begging is not bringing out anything, the criminally minded will go out, you know, starting to break into shops or doing forced begging, as we are encountering in Lekki area. People going down to estates and feeling that the people in the estate should bring out and give them something, you know. So these are all residual behavior that we can encounter when it comes to total lockdown.
Now, we have a 2-week extension that has started days back. How do we bridge the gap and ensure that all of these security breaches that we are seeing, we put an end to it, so to speak? Because we recently got a statement talking about the Army, DSS, the police, all be going out working together to patrol communities that have witnessed this security breach, so to speak. Is that a holistic way to address this issue? And is that a concern for you, seeing that there has also been some level of extrajudicial killings?
The killings, we've still not confirmed them. There's a DIG of police that is in charge of this operation in these the western states. So, but their presence is a welcome, presence, whereby they have to actually go and quell this. I am happy with, I personally don't like the military getting involved in internal security, but in cases of emergency like this, of course, the military is welcomed. And when they are in there, there are roles for them to play. It's not to go and set up a checkpoint. There are roles for them, like carrying food to the people that need it. If you look at some of the food that is being distributed, people crowd and fight, and that exactly is counter to the social distancing situation. So instead of that, let them send the military. People tend to respect the military more, so they can put everybody in line, and people can, civilized manner, share out whatever they want to. And then, of course, the military can help in the medicals, logistics, and stuff like that. I think it's going to help.
All right, but I'd like for you to touch on where you see people coming out to hold vigils to ensure that they secure their environment. What does it say of the trust they repose on the security structure in place within their communities?
Yeah, we've always said that security is everybody's business. And I'm happy that people are mobilizing themselves and coming out to do something. We always think that security belongs to either the police or the SSS, or, they are the magicians who are going to do it. It's our business. And for street vigilantes, I think I'm very, very happy about that. In fact, I'm expecting the Amotekun at this time. This is what they were formed for. I need those vehicles that they bought for them to be patrolling the streets, patrol the streets, and then, of course, going around, not only to look for criminals, but also to look if there are people in distress that they could help, because that is what security is all about. It's not just to arrest people, but to help, find out if there are people driving on the road and they are not having very good reasons to be on the road, politely send them back to where they come from. And that's at this time we need a very, very good public relations or public image of the military or security forces, taking care of the society, assuring people that everything is going to be all right. Coronavirus is for real. And many people are out there because they don't believe that it does exist.
All right, Dennis Amakwe, thank you for speaking with us in TVC Breakfast. Well, joining me now is Dennis Amakwe, former Assistant Director, State Security Service, and CEO, Zoomlens Security Solutions. He joins me via Skype. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast. From your point of view as an expert when it comes to issues of security, is there something the state governments of these areas witnessing this level of insecurity could have done differently to ensure that cases of insecurity that we see springing up could have been avoided?
The only different thing they would have done was to sensitize the neighborhoods and to inform them that, see, we're going to go into this very project. And during this project, we foresee or we anticipate a situation where there might be miscreants and stuff like that. So we want your corporation to work with the security agents in handling it. And that's where all the Amotekun and all those will come in now. And basically it's for transmission of information to the security agents.
All right, so some have said, like in the Federal Capital Territory, the minister is saying that he is coming up with mobile courts to perhaps deal with violators of the lockdown order, and perhaps we're bringing other measures. Is it something that other states can adopt when we look at addressing issues such as this that we find coming up within states?
Yeah, I hope that those mobile courts are going to be very expedient in what they are doing, because crime in Nigeria persists because most of the time those who are caught or even prosecuted are not given a punishment. There is no judgment. And people feel that as far as I can do something and nobody is going to punish me, then I can go ahead and continue doing it. So if those mobile courts are active, and I am very sure they were set up because they are going to be expedient, then I think it's a good idea for those people who are going to break the rules. But like we mentioned earlier, let's lay down the rules. Are we in partial lockdown? Are we in total lockdown? Are there windows where you can go out and buy food and come back? You know, are you going to maintain social distancing? Because if you just start taking people to court just because they are outside, it defeats the purpose. And then, of course, you are going to put them back in those prisons that we are trying to decongest for social distancing's sake.
And some have said that underlying, or one of the implication, or what this means, that the level of uprising that we are seeing is because there is not as much education or enlightenment with regards to the issues of COVID-19. How best and how strategically can we make use of community communicators to address the needs of persons living within this community, so they better understand why the government is taking these measures and perhaps adjust where necessary?
Do you know, I received a video clip from my hometown where the whole message has been translated into the local dialect, and you know, very, 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 very appropriate language that was being circulated among the people. So I expect that. I have seen one or two things. Bisi Olatilo has come up with the major 3 languages and stuff like that. We want this message to go down. This is when we want people like the National Orientation Agency to work. You know, not by name, but by deeds. And then, of course, if you want to use town criers in villages, that's fine. You know, but people should know, because there is an information gap. And that information gap is being used by crooks who are, you know, spreading all kinds of information, what we call pandemic infodemic. That's people trying to translate it into different kinds, and then, of course, deceiving people, telling people, oh, you are going to get 20,000 or 30,000 in your account. There's a scam going on right now where somebody is asking people to send their BVN and stuff like that. So these are the pandemic infodemic we got.
All right, we'll leave the discussion here. Dennis Amakwe, thank you for speaking with us.